Landon Huffman coming to a comfortable lead, coming out of 2. He's got about 8 car lengths, put it half a second over Dwayne Vincent as Chad Cole works the number 2 spot.
Time is running out. Vincent's got it. Cole wants it to the wall. Chevrolet puts the bumper to the 13 of Vincent. Vincent not backing down. He's in second. You know, and we got one car on the bottom of the 10 car.
Racing's Outlaw Truck Series, brought to you and presented by ETV Live, powered by the HD Radio Network, leader in sim broadcasting. I'm your host tonight, Michael Keaton. Alongside in the booth with me tonight, Kyle Peddle, and down on pit road, Dakota Ehrman, and of course, John Wessling pushing the buttons for all the fabulous camera work. Kyle, we're here at Charlotte. What a great racetrack to set up for a 6th race of the season out of 8 races. It's getting down to the wire here.
Oh, for sure. These guys are going to be looking for really good side-by-side racing tonight. It's going to be everybody's on top of each other. You got 2 races to go. Points are really tight, but we're going to take a look back at the last week's standings here at Talladega. Coming home with the dub last week was Ryan Bueller. Finished in 2nd is John Abbott, and 3rd is Eric Melke, 2nd, and 4th is Doug Ruth, and finishing off your top 5 with Steven Ritter.
Finishing 6th last week at Talladega, Dwayne Vincent out, and then David Lanza picking up 7th, and Doug Fleming rounding out the 8th there. Rhett McBride coming home in 9th, and then Nicholas Silver finishing in that top 10. And of course that was Talladega. Nicholas started all the way back in 30th and managed to get that 30 Chevrolet truck up to the front and finished 10th. And man, I tell you what, that really closed in the gap. In fact, Bobby Terrell lost the points lead to Doug Roth, who now owns it. He's 2 up on Bobby Terrell, and then sitting in 3rd, which is a guy that I'm going to be keeping my eye on tonight at Charlotte, and that's Dwayne Vincent. He's already got 1 win on the season. Can he grab number 2 tonight? And then Rhett McBride, who finished good last week at Talladega, sitting 4th, tied with Vincent, 4 back from the leader, Doug Roth, and sitting 5th, trying to get that first win of the season, Nicholas Silver.
I tell you what, these point battles are really close. You know, top 4 is separated by 4 points, so that's definitely going to be something you're going to want to watch tonight. You know, 6th place is going to be Brian Lovingood. He's only 24 points back, so he's still definitely in it. 7th, sorry, is going to be Scott Grangberg. I'm going to be watching for him tonight. You know, fellow Canadian. Definitely going to have to watch him. Joe Rauter is going to be 8th in points. 9th is going to be Steve Ritter. Another big heavy hitter. You got to watch out. Ritter can easily win these races day in and day out. If you're not careful, he'll definitely get you. And rounding out your top 10 in points is going to be David Lanza.
And David Lanza, I tell you, he is coming on board here. He's trying to get his first win of the season as well. And like we mentioned, 6 races into this short 8-week event. And, of course, next week is Rockingham, and the closeout, the grand finale, the season finale at Las Vegas in a couple of weeks. I know Bobby Terrell, Doug Roth, and Dwayne Vincent, the top 3 in points, and, of course, you got to include Rhett McBride, who's still he's tied in 3rd. All these guys are anxious, very anxious to get to Las Vegas and clinch this championship. But Dakota Ehrman's down on pit road, and Dakota, Charlotte Motor Speedway, a 1.5-mile racetrack. Could we see some early pit stops here tonight? 90 laps set for the board. What do you say down there?
Well, I know this is going to be interesting. I don't think these drivers are too much concerned about fuel or tires, as they are not running over each other or anything of the sort, because this is a tight-knit racetrack where they're all just bound up with each other, especially with the current draft model. I think they may have problems getting away from each other tonight, Keaton.
And, of course, Kyle, Charlotte Motor Speedway is a very, very good track, very fun track to get around. And let's talk about some turns here. You know, the heavy bump that you got going into turn 1 is really going to make these guys feel like they're falling off of the top of a building because of how the bump is. The chassis gets extremely light right there, and it can be very difficult to make a pass.
Oh, without a doubt. You know, sometimes even if you hit that bump wrong, I've done it a couple times with my series that I've ran with. You get into that corner, you hit that bump wrong, and all of a sudden it kicks your car sideways. Or if you didn't arc it into the corner right, you go from the top lane all the way to the bottom. All of a sudden the car gets really light, snaps around on you, and you're creating big problems for everybody else behind you. And you also got to be careful coming out of 2. These corners, they're tight when you come off. You know, you could be doing 3 wide racing sometimes on your opening lap, but these corners, they fall off in a hurry, and they also get very tight.
And of course, who can forget the dog leg that's here at Charlotte? One of the most trickiest dog legs, if you ask me. You can have some side-by-side racing right here, but I'm going to tell you what, if both drivers go for that same piece of real estate that's right there at the start-finish line, then the grass can become your enemy, your worst enemy, because that grass at Charlotte, man, it'll light them tires up, and you could go off spinning through the pit road, come back on the track, wreck. Who knows what can happen? But the dog leg, expect some wrecks here tonight.
Oh, without a doubt, with these guys going to be coming through these the dog leg, like you said, with high speeds upward to 180, 190 miles an hour. You definitely get that right front, or the left front into the grass. You're definitely going to go around in a hurry. I've barely even clipped it myself, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, I'm looking at the inside wall, and then I'm looking at the outside wall, and then I'm coming across, and I'm ruining some guys' days. And that's not fun when you cause an accident, especially if it's going to be early. It's going to be a long race tonight. It's got 90 laps around this Charlotte Motor Speedway.
And of course, qualifying is now underway. 27 drivers so far putting a time up on the board right now. G. Allen Lewis in the 81 Chevrolet looking fastest on the racetrack with a 29. Oh, should I dare say this? Is this a bad omen? 6.66 for him. And then Bobby Terrell, the man who sits second in points, just 2 behind Roth, is second quickest, and Roth is 21st quickest. So Doug Roth in that 43 car or truck tonight, Kyle, can have his work cut out for him.
Oh, without a doubt, and like we said, we're looking at the Q times right now, and the top 10, actually, sorry, the top 12 are within a tenth of each other. But I'm gonna make my pick right now, and I'm gonna say, starting in the 7th position so far, my fellow Canadian Scott Granberg. I think he's gonna take it home tonight. I know I've been talking to him before the race. He said that he's had a pretty good setup. It hasn't been too loose in traffic, so we're gonna see if he can make his way up to the front. He is starting all the way back in 7th, like I said, so he's gonna have a little bit of work cut out with him.
Just an interesting thing, I'm glad you brought Granberg up. You know, he sits 7th in points. He's 24 back behind Roth. And 5 starts this season so far, Kyle. He's had 2 poles. Couldn't quite get it on the pole here tonight. His average start is 2nd position. So starting back here in 7th, he's kind of back in no man's land, if you will. And his average finish for the year so far is 13th. Not a bad year for him.
Oh, definitely not. But still, you know, it's kind of heartbreaking. We've seen, I know, if people watched DWC last year, Nick Ottinger was getting poles left, right, and center. But you know, it doesn't matter if you get that pole. You got to close out the deal. And if you can't close out the deal, well, you're going to be sitting back in points. And like we said, he's sitting back in points because he's in 7th. He hasn't been able to close out the deal lately.
Another guy I want to make mention, Brian Lovingood, who sits 5th on the racetrack right now, fastest in qualifying, the 51 truck. He's 6th in points. He's 22 behind Doug Roth. Out of 5 starts, this guy's had no poles, no wins, no top 5s, but I'm telling you, impressive finishes on the average of the year. He's had 2 top 10s, and he's sitting 6th in points. Kyle, his average finish, 12th, so a little bit better than Scott Granberg, put him 1 ahead, and also Nicholas Silver tonight. He's had 1 top 5 and 4 top 10s. This has been the most consistent driver as far as finishing in the top 10, and his average finish is 10th, but it starts in the 21st position on average, and Nicholas Silver here tonight is starting 10th.
Oh, without a doubt, but I really wanted to look at and focus at the top 4, all separated by 4 points. You got Doug Routh, who's just took over the points lead from Bobby Terrell. Doug Routh's got 2 top 5s and 4 top 10s, so he's been definitely consistent. But you look at Bobby Terrell, he's been the hottest one so far in this Outlaw Truck Series. He's got 2 wins. He's got 1 more win than Dwayne Vincent, who's sitting back in 3rd. So it does come down to consistency, and right now the most consistent driver for the Outlaw Truck Series is definitely Doug Routh.
Of course, Dakota, you know, there's 34 drivers at took a practice lap here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and not all of them has qualified. Could we see some guys kind of trying to lay back in the back? There's only 27 on the board, or some of these guys wanting to start in the back. Have you heard anything in the chatter down pit road about that?
Well, see, I believe about 6 or 7 more actually took a lap in practice, but not quite going to qualify. Maybe they will start in the back, as you see, but they're going to go ahead and throw it down trackside for the national anthem real quick.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome back, race fans, and we're live here with the ETV network, powered by HD Radio Network, leader in SIN broadcasting. Let's take you down trackside for the command.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
All right, so getting started here tonight. G. Allen Lewis going to take us to the green flag here tonight, starting on the pole. Outside him, second in points, the 14, Bobby Terrell.
Going to be starting off third is going to be C.J. Lavere, and rolling off fourth is going to be David Lanza.
Brian Lovingood picking up the 5th spot tonight. Rolling off 6th, the 11 machine of Dwayne Vincent.
Rolling off seventh is going to be Scott Grangberg, and in eighth is going to be Eric Malky.
Starting ninth in the 03, Ryan Bueller, who won last week at Talladega, to his outside right. In the 10th spot, the 30 truck of Nicholas Silver.
Rolling off 11th is going to be Rent McBride, and starting 12th, going to watch out for him, Steven Ritter.
The man who wears the number 10 jersey, John Abbott, rolls off 13th tonight to his outside, the 24 truck of Mark Bratcher.
Starting the 15th spot in the number 67 truck is going to be Sean Casto, and starting 16th is going to be Joe Reuter,
17th belongs to the 84 truck of Jimmy North. To his outside, Michael Woolley in the 13.
Starting off in 19th position in the truck number 23 is John Klickner. And starting on 20th position is Bill Schonover.
Starting 21st tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the 43 truck, Doug Roth. To his outside, the 92 machine of Jason Lester.
Starting off in number 20 in the 23rd spot in the truck 87, Patrick Hayes, and then 24th is going to be Luis Rodriguez.
25th belonging to the 41 truck of Hunter Davis and Adam Roberts in the 88, the 88 and 26th.
Starting off in the 27th position, John Ellers, and in 28th, Randy Wells.
29th belongs to the 28 machine of Doug Fleming. To his outside right. In the 30th position, the 12 truck of Douglas White.
Gonna have to give this guy a shout out. Starting in the number 31st position, he is a disabled racer, Aaron Negroskoff. Starting number 32 is gonna be John Wilco.
And then the last row here tonight, the 48 machine of Frank Kuntz. And then 98 truck of Stephen Herring going to pull 34th here. So 34 race drivers on the racetrack at Charlotte Motor Speedway as they're down the backstretch. This is ETV, powered by the HD Radio Network, leader in sim broadcasting. 90 laps set here for tonight. Race number 6 in the Outlaw Truck Series. And the man out front, Doug Roth. In the points, Bobby Terrell is starting second, so he's got a really good start here tonight. And, of course, the pole sitter, G. Allen Lewis.
As they work off turn 4, the lights are out on the pace car. G. Allen Lewis is going to roll him down to the start-finish line here as the pace car is going to peel off. And the green flag is about ready to go up in the air. As the green flag does go up in the air, and we're racing here in Charlotte.
Green flag racing. And G. Allen Lewis gets a pretty good start there. And Kyle, going into 1, this is where we see a lot of trouble sometimes in the very early stages of a green flag run. Will we see it tonight?
Looks like everybody's going to get through 1 and 2 so far. It's been so far clean. A lot of trucks on this racetrack. It's basically a full Camping World Truck Series field here with 34 trucks as they work into 3 and 4.
Keep an eye out on that third machine in the 14th truck. That's Bobby Terrell. He's sitting second point. He's got to be real patient. He's got the 33 of David Lanza right behind him. David's going to sneak underneath. There's that dog leg move. See how close to the left sides are to that grass? Almost touching it as Lanza now works underneath Bobby Terrell for third position.
As they're going through 1 and 2 right now, Bobby Terrell in the 14 truck has got away from himself from that mess. As we're looking a little bit further back, as David Lanza works underneath the 51 truck of Brian Lovingood.
And, of course, Brian Lovingood sitting 6th in points. He's got to have a good finish tonight. No top 5s on the year so far, only 2 top 10s. Right now he's looking in pretty good position, but a little further back we've got a battle where Brian Bueller sits in 9th position. He's got the Chevrolet of Nicholas Silver right behind him. Of course, Ryan Bueller picking up the Talladega win, and that's not an easy task, Kyle.
Oh, definitely not. You got to put yourself in the right position, especially when you're at Talladega. You know, 10 laps to go, you might find yourself in first, and all of a sudden 5 laps to go, you find yourself back at 43rd. So you definitely got to make the moves at the right time and go at the right time. As we see the 33 get a little bit loose on the bottom here, definitely these guys are not giving each other room right now.
Of course, this is ETV-eplay.net, the ETV, powered by HD Radio Network, the leader in sim broadcasting, home of the ETV Live Radio, as caution's out. And we're 4 laps into this event and trying to figure out who it was. It might have been Luis Rodriguez, Kyle, coming down the front stretch in 25th position.
Well, I'm looking at the replay right now, and it was the dog leg like we talked about. They got loose in there, and unfortunately, Luis Rodriguez had a hard hit. I'm pretty sure he's going to need an ambulance after that wreck because he was flipping all down the front straightaway there.
He took an ETV ticket ride through the front stretch there, end over end, and Randy Wells was the man that was underneath him there at the start-finish line in the 46 truck. I think Randy took some heavy right front damage, Dakota. You there? You got a copy?
I was looking at it myself, I just wanted to confirm. I do believe that Rodriguez actually kind of came down to him, maybe got the left rear fender just a little bit, so I don't think that he'll have just right front damage, but the whole right side might actually be damaged as well as the left side and the whole roof of the car for Rodriguez.
Of course, that is the first caution here on lap number 4 that was brought out. And the man out front still G. Allen Lewis, but some things have changed. In the second position, C.J. Rivera picks up second. Now Bobby Terrell falls back to third. And where is the man that leads the points? Doug Roth. He's back in 19th position. He's got his work cut out for him. And, of course, Doug Roth started 21st, but he's already starting to pick them off.
Yeah, as we're going to see, nobody's going to be coming to pit road. But as I think we got Dwayne Vincent up in the booth. Dwayne, talk about what's going on so far.
Just trying to ride up high, man, and Lance was beating me up, pretty much sliding up the track. He didn't do it on purpose. It just made it a little tough.
Yeah, I was looking at the rest of that race there before we got that caution, and you guys are definitely beating and banging on each other. So definitely good tight racing going on here. But tell us who makes it happen for you.
All teammates at RSR, and that's about it for tonight. We're running with no sponsor tonight.
Hey, Dwayne, this is Mike Keaton up in the booth, man. Coming into tonight's event, you're tied with Rick McBride for third spot in points. 4 back from Doug Roth, 2 back from Bobby Terrell. You've already got 1 win on the season. and 2 top 5s. What does Charlotte look like? I know it's early, but I'm telling you, 6 out of 8 complete. You got 2 more to go after tonight. What's it looking like, Dwayne?
Well, if we can stay out of trouble, man, keep it up here in the top 5, that's what I'm going to try to do all night, man, and try to get the most points as we can. It's a tight race.
All right, Dwayne, we'll let you go, man. Good luck for the rest of the way.
Thank you.
I'm going to tell you something. If he's going to get it done, he's got to get it done, right, Kyle? He's sitting there in a great gravy spot. But the thing is, man, this is Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is Under the Lights Thursday night Outlaw Truck Series with Real Sim Racing. Everybody wants that win. Bobby Terrell's up there. He's fighting for a championship. Ross in the lead. He's fighting for one. Then you got Rhett McBride. I mean, there's so many people we discussed before the broadcast. I mean, the top nearly 14 all the way back to Stephen Herring is in the hunt for this championship.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And I looked tonight. I didn't think I saw a full moon, but you know these guys are definitely digging. 2 races left to go here. Everybody's going to be on top of each other. You definitely want that championship here in the Outlaw Truck Series. So look for this to be a good battle tonight. We're just gonna, I don't know. We're gonna see. It's gonna be tight racing all the way around.
Again, HD Radio Network, the home of the ETV Live Radio. Hard Driving Radio Network gives you 7 stations to choose from, including Big 80s Middle, all the HDR Classics, all HDR Country, all 80s Adult Radio, and more. Take your pick and rock your brains out. HD Radio is featured on the iTunes, the TuneIn Radio, and listed also in the Windows Media Guide. Listen today from the HDRadioNetwork.com, or you can take it with you and get the app from TuneIn.com. And as the pace car leads the guys in turn 3 and turn 4 here, let's see if Dwayne Vincent can move his truck up to the number 1 spot. But right now, G. Allen Lewis secures it with LeVere on the outside.
As they're working off turn 4 right now, lights are on top of the pace car. As the pace car is going to make that turn onto pit road, and they're going to go right away as G. Allen Lewis gets a good jump, and he pulls about a 2-3 truck length over the 4 truck.
Of course, that is G. Allen Lewis, the leader, and got off to a great start, as you mentioned, Kyle. And, you know, right now I think G's just got to sit there and ride. He's got LeVere about 3 truck lengths back now. And, of course, Bobby Terrell's starting to make his way up into the C.J. LeVere's rear end. And, you know, it's not an easy thing for Allen to be up there in that clean air either.
Oh, without a doubt, it's not. C.J. LeVere back in the 2nd position here is going to get a big draft off of G. Allen Lewis, but you also got to remember here, around this track, when somebody gets tucked up underneath your back bumper here, with the way these trucks are, they're going to get super loose, so you got to be careful with that. If you don't catch it in time, well, you're going around, and you're collecting about 3 or 4 people with the way that these guys are racing right now.
As the front 5 and 6 run single flag or single file racing here, 140,000 in capacity for tonight's event at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Of course, this has been called some other names. At the beginning, it was called, or late in the 90s and 2000s, Kyle, it was named the Lowe's Motor Speedway, and recently just changed back to the Charlotte Motor Speedway. So it's kind of like a new thing here, as the asphalt here broke ground back in 1959 and opened in 1960, so a fairly new track, if you will.
Oh yes, and they just had a repaving going on here. And you say that it used to be called Lowe's Motor Speedway. Well, it used to be the house that Jimmy Johnson built with the way that he was running, as we're going to see a battle for the lead here as C.J. LeVere is trying to work his way underneath G. Allen Lewis, as G. Allen Lewis got loose coming off of 4 there.
That also allowed David Lenz in the 33 truck to slide into 3rd position, taking it away from Bobby Terrell. And we talked to Vincent, who's sitting back here in 5th during the yellow flag, and he's already moved himself up 1 spot. So the leader, G. Allen Lewis, earned their attack possibly on lap 12 as they come through the start-finish line this time by.
As we're going to look a little bit further back here is Ryan Bueller. I'm sorry, not Ryan Bueller, but Eric Melke is going to work underneath the number 51 machine of Brian Lovingood here as they go off into 1 and 2.
And again, Brian Lovingood, one of those other guys that's up here in the points. He's 6'22" back, so he's got to be very, very, patient here and let the truck come to him and stay out of trouble early on and get to the finish here to get the points that he needs to try to secure top 5.
As you can see, that high line is actually working right now, and with the way this draft is working and the way that the momentum works with these trucks, is these 2 are going to get really close as they go off into 1 and 2. If you can't make that pass on the inside, your truck might not be working the way you want it to early, as you're going to see the number 51 is just going to get in front of the number 9 of, I'm sorry guys, I'm having some hard times here with names.
Looking back a little further here, Kyle, we got a battle shaping up for 19th position. A little three-truck tandem here, if you will, at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Coming off turn 4, 19th position. Adam Roberts nearly gets that right rear quarter panel into the wall, but keeps it off of it. And he's got Patrick Hahe behind him. And then Michael Woolley, I believe, who's making his first start, if not second start of the RSR Outlaw Truck Series, as we've got a pass now for that 19th position. Move Patrick up one spot, as now there's a battle for the lead out front.
As they're going to see the number 4 truck going underneath CJ Lavere as they come through the dog leg. They're going to get really close as the number 33 truck of David Lanza is also right in the mix of this battle here as they work through 1 and 2 right now. Very close side-by-side action right now as they're going to see if the 4 truck of CJ Lavere is going to be able to clear G. Allen Lewis, which it doesn't look like he's going to be able to.
Side-by-side racing so far, just one lead change. G. Allen Lewis gives it over to C.J. Lavere, who's maintained the lead for 1.5 laps. Let's see if he can do it for 2 in a row. Looks like he's going to clear him now. The high line has a little bit of effect, but Kyle, it just seems like it wears off. It's now Lanza pushes the 4 of C.J. Lavere in 1.
Yeah, as we're going to it's definitely this high line. We've been trying to get iRacing to work the high line for us, but the low line's always been the fastest way around here at Charlotte. And tell you what, G. Allen Lewis is going to pull back in front of Lanza, so he got lucky there because he could have easily got freight trained.
As C.J. Lavere leads the field coming off turn 4 to the start-finish line to lead 3 consecutive laps. Let's go down to Dakota Ehrman, who's standing by on pit road.
Yeah, guys, I just want to mention that John Wilco in the rear of the field, he's like 31st, did go through the grass a long time ago, losing a lot of track position or a lot of time, at least 5 seconds back from the next position. But Luis Rodriguez, I'm staying next to him on pit road with his damaged car, and Luis, you going to be able to get back out there?
Yeah, I'm here just waiting to the repairs, you know, still 7 minutes to repair.
And Luis, what happened going down the bootleg there in the front stretch?
Well, when I was going out of 4, I got a little bit loose, and unfortunately, I hit on the, on the door.
Hang on, Lewis. We got a caution on the speedway. Doug Roth spins it. This is the points leader. Doug Roth going into 1. We'll get to Lewis just in a second. This is actually going to help Mr. Rodriguez out with caution coming out. But Doug Roth, the points leader, heavy damage, Kyle, going into turn 1. Maybe just a little bit of arrow loose there.
Well, looking at this at the replay right now, this was kind of a chain reaction wreck. We saw Mark Bratcher get loose in the dogleg again, goes flying through the grass, and oh, he got stuck in the wall. So I don't know what happened between Roth and Steve Ritter there. We're gonna have to look at that, get that keyed up.
So understand we still got Luis Rodriguez in the booth with us. Luis, the caution there kind of helped you out. I mean, you know, you said you had 7 minutes of repair. At the same time, you won't go nearly as many laps down sitting there on pit road under caution.
Well, I'm just hoping to have a good handling, you know, and keep it up. But I don't think so. It's I hit pretty hard.
All right, Lewis. Well, we'll let you get back to it. The crew's hard at work. Luis Rodriguez so far, guys, 1 top 5 and 1 top 10. He's been pretty good. He's sitting back in 15th spot. He's 64 behind the leader. As in fact, the leader's now coming down pit road. It's going to be very busy here, Dakota, as the leader, G. Allen Lewis, now that took the lead back over from C.J. Lavere, brings us down to the final pit stop here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah, guys, the second half of the field that came in last time by, looks like almost everybody's going to come in this time. Looking at G. Allen Lewis, 4 tires in field, the right sides are up. No troubles, he did not overshoot the stall. Should have a good stop here as he's taking for the left sides to go up. He's getting ready to roll. C.J. Lavere's going to be close coming off pit road. They're going to be side by side. Lavere's going to get it off pit road, guys.
Wow, C.J. Lavere wins the battle off pit road. But will he win the war? Again, you're watching the ETV Live, powered by HD Radio Network, leader in sim broadcasting. When we return from the commercial, hopefully we'll have some green flag racing for you. C.J. Lavere shows to be your new leader as G. Allen Lewis falls victim to 2nd place.
Hey, JD here with ETV Live, and let me tell you something. If it's too big for the pickup truck and you need to move it, there's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages Cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, Cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California, if you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or just across town, Gary Mercer has the best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in a pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck, Cowboy. Sponsors of ETV Live's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Welcome back, race fans, to ETV's live coverage of the RSR Outlaw Truck Series. ETV, of course, powered by the HD Radio Network, the leader in sim broadcasting. And Kyle, working second caution here on lap 21 as the new leader, Michael Woolley. He did not pit, is being shown the new leader. Brings us to lap 22 behind the pace car.
Oh yeah, Michael Woolley did not pit under that last caution, so we're going to see how that works out with them. These guys are going to have fresh tires, and they're going to see the lights go out on top of the pace car. That's probably a dangerous move, but we're going to reset the top 10 and tell you what's going on. Starting in first position right now, like we said, Michael Woolley, and second is going to be CJ LeVere. G. Allen Lewis is going to be third, David Lanza's fourth, Bobby Terrell fifth, Ryan Beeler is going to be sixth, seventh is going to be Dwayne Vincent, eighth is going to be Eric Malky, ninth is going to be Scott Granberg, and rounding out your top 10 is going to be Joe Reuter.
Some may call him Joe the Show Rooter. Kyle, I'm telling you, this guy puts on quite the show. I think later in the race you'll probably start to see him develop and start to make his way up to the front. And when he does, Kyle, I'm telling you, he puts on a show. Joe the Show Rooter there in the 20 machine. Intense spot. Got a little bit of a way to go to get up there in the front, but Joe knows how to get there. And there's an old saying that, you ever heard this old saying, Joe knows best?
I don't think I have.
Well, he sits 8th in points, and he's 28 behind the leader, Roth, who, again, Doug Roth, folks, if you're just joining us, was involved with a hard crash and hard lick to the outside and then back to the inside wall, and the 43 truck is on the lead lap, but he's showing in 30th spot. And we'll try to get some more details from pit road on the condition of Doug Roth's machine as we go back to green. The pace car's down low, and Michael Woolley leads us to the green for his first time.
As the green flag goes up in the air, Michael Woolley's going to get a good start. We're going to see how long he can stay out in front of G. Allen Lewis and the 4. So we're going to see as they go into 1 and 2 here. He does have old tires.
So far, so good. Into turn 2, it looks like G. Allen Lewis has the momentum and run out of turn 2, goes underneath the leader of Woolley. Woolley's going to give way, the hands out the window, and allow C.J. LeVere also to find his way underneath the truck as they go into turn 4. The 33 of Lanza also going to follow suit as Woolley does the old gentleman's favor and rolls out the left window and says, guys, go on by.
As they're going to go by the number 13 truck of Michael Woolley, as he's going to go further and further back because he does have old tires. G. Allen Lewis, obviously, C.J. LeVere had something happen to him. Either he got loose or something, so G. Allen Lewis definitely out to a big lead so far as they go into work into 3 and 4.
Yeah, it's almost like the truck just went, almost cut a tire. He turned right so quick, and he allowed Lanza underneath, and now Bobby Terrell. He may give the way to Bobby Terrell down at the bottom, but LeVere hanging pretty strong on the outside, doesn't want to get rid of second too bad as they go into 1, and that's just allowing G. Allen Lewis to check out. He's up to about 10 truck lengths coming out of turn 2.
I definitely tell you what, G. Allen Lewis is definitely loving this, looking in his rearview mirror, looking at these guys, Lanza and C.J. LeVere and all of them racing hard with each other because that's just making them pull away.
Didn't I mention Joe Reuter, the show, earlier during the caution break before we went green? He's all the way up to 7th now, so 3 spots gained, and caution is back out on the Speedway at Charlotte. And this one's a bad one here at the start-finish line. It looks like it started in the 22nd position with Aaron Grosskopf. Aaron just got a little loose, spun it around, and John Ehlers there in the 39 or the 09 truck just took a lick.
Yeah, you gotta be careful coming off these corners here, especially because all of a sudden you go out basically from 30-degree banking or whatever it is at Charlotte to basically flat. So if your car isn't or your truck isn't hooked up, you're gonna be going for a ride. And unfortunately, Aaron Grosskopf got that look at that firsthand there.
I'm going to tell you something. George Wood, who's our statistician, among many other things, he told me before the broadcast about Turn 4. He said, look at the track hot sheet guide. Turn 4, the track that flattens out severely here from Turn 4, just as you mentioned, to the dog leg on the front stretch, which places a lot of stress on the shock package. And he also told me to look to see the cars pulling slide jobs and getting very loose there. And we just saw Aaron Grosskopf do that. And we also saw the same thing happen with Luis Rodriguez, I believe, or that might have been on the backstretch. But nonetheless, coming out of Turn 4, we've already seen it, and we saw it here again with the trucks getting loose.
What happened with Luis Rodriguez is we're going to actually go to Dakota as Michael Woolley's going to make his way down pit road.
Yeah, guys, Michael Woolley coming down. He's one of the few lead lap cars coming down for service here. Probably just going to be 4 tires of fuel. But I did want to talk about turns 4, like you said. How they were saying it's just a terrible turn, it seems like. I've noticed when I go to this corner, and I've heard a lot of the same from other drivers, it feels like you're on a hill coming off that corner, or you just go over a hill at one point in time. That is probably one of the weirdest corners on any track we go to, and that's what we see a lot of trouble there, guys.
Speaking of coming over the hills, I'm going to tell you something about Bob Earl Racing and the cockpit seat that he designs Dakota last year in the 2012 Full Throttle Cup Series with the same league that you're seeing here tonight run the Outlaw Truck Series. He has put together a 2012 cockpit seat that Landon Huffman, the championship contender last year, won. And now he's come back on board to this 2013 proud sponsor of the Full Throttle Cup Series again. And now he's going to give another one away to the championship who wins this season's.
I'll tell you what, it's a good thing that Gary Mercer Trucking Inc. is sponsoring these guys, because there's been a lot of wrecked trucks tonight. You just got to remember, if it's too small for your pickup truck, you better get a real truck, and Gary Mercer Trucking is going to be the one to get you your real truck for you guys, because a lot of these guys are definitely going to need somebody to get them back to the pits and back to their shop.
Let's see if we're going to get the one to go here as G. Allen Lewis behind the pace car at Charlotte Motor Speedway takes us around, and the pace lights are still on. We're going to go to a commercial break, but when we return, hopefully Green Flag Racing in the ETV coverage of the RSR Outlaw Truck Series, sponsored and powered by the HD Radio Network, the leader in sim broadcasting. Welcome back, race fans, to ETV's live coverage of the RSR Outlaw Truck Series, and welcome radio fans from the HD Radio Network, leader in sim broadcasting. This is ETV, and G. Allen Lewis leads the field into turn 4 as we're under caution, but this time by, the pace car is going to come down pit road, and we're going to go back to green flag racing.
As the pace car is going to pull off here, as G. Allen Lewis is going to lead him back green, as there goes the green flag up in the air, as G. Allen Lewis gets another good start. We've been seeing all night long that these guys in first, they can mess around with the guys in second and third, getting a good jump.
Absolutely. I'm going to tell you something. G. Allen Lewis has got this jump figured out, man. Every time that he started from the pole position, he's got the jump. He's already about to a 4 or 5 car length lead, or truck lead. C.J. Lavera's in second. David lands up third. Move the 11 truck up. That's Dwayne Vincent into fourth, as we got a two-way battle coming into turn 3 and 4.
As they work their way through 3 and 4 right now, they're all side by side for 4th, 5th, and 6th. As they're going to really squirrely here, as we're going to see, as they're almost making it 3 wide here. As we're going to have a truck going through the infield right now. Heads up, guys.
That's Ryan Bueller in the 03 machine. He saves it. He went through the grass, and in turn 1 and turn 2, he comes back on the track. No harm, no foul. Still under green here as G. Allen Lewis leads us, but there's a battle for second. Here comes the silver bullet. Dwayne Vincent in turn 3. He passes Lavera, and now he's working on Allen Lewis coming out of 4.
I tell you what, Dwayne Vincent, I was talking to him before the race, and he said that he has, as we got trouble down the front straightaway, Bobby Terrell gets turned in the dog leg. There is big junk going down the front straightaway.
Oh, no. Bobby Terrell, the man that's in second in points, has spun on the front stretch, and we are under caution here, folks. Bobby Terrell.
I tell you what, we're not going to queue up the replay here. There's 2 drivers going for the same real estate in that dog leg, and we said that that was going to be a main focus point. And unfortunately, Bobby Terrell ran out of luck there because they both went for the same real estate, and unfortunately, big stuff happened.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Bobby Terrell's machine. That 14 truck has got heavy smoke. David Lanza's night could be done. That machine's all torn up and bent up. The 9 machine of Eric Malik's also, he's been in bad shape. Man, I tell you, that took some guys out, Kyle, that was fighting for a championship. Of course, Bobby Terrell, one of the notables here, he's in second in points, and he's 2 behind Roth. Man, I tell you, he's probably not very happy right now.
I tell you what, they were looking to wreck for about a full lap there, and unfortunately, they finally wrecked it, and they wrecked it big. But I tell you what, the guy sitting in first in points, Doug Roth, is actually going to really enjoy this because now Doug Roth isn't going to get so hurt on the on the point battle here. But that's unfortunate that we have to see something like that happen to our leaders.
Well, let's take a look here at the points. You got Doug Roth, who's in first. He's being shown all the way back in 27th right now, folks, if you're just joining us. And, of course, they're welcoming the radio fans from the HD Radio Network. These guys, Doug Roth, he was involved in a wreck early on. He's sitting way back in 27th position. Bobby Terrell, you just heard there, he's involved in the wreck, so he's going to go back. The man who could take over the points lead, and as it stands right now, who leads in points, Dwayne Vincent. He's sitting second on the racetrack. And just to talk about Rhett McBride, because he's tied with Vincent, Rhett McBride's sitting in 4th. So, guys, wow, this is shaping up to be a big one. 34 laps into a 90-lap race. Still got a long way to go.
Well, we're actually going to throw it down to pit road there. Dakota, who did you see come down pit road there?
We saw several guys coming down pit road. I don't believe that some of the leaders came down, but one of the guys I was watching for sure, Ryan Bueller, after going to the grass, hanging on the car and going back to about 16th from 7th. He was able to take 4 tires, very minimal changes, and they think they got the car rolling. Expect him to be coming back to the front, guys.
Definitely tell you what I was going to say before that caution happened is that I was talking to Dwayne Vincent before the race, and he was talking about his setup wasn't really working for him. It was pretty loose, but I think those guys over there at RSR have really got this thing figured out.
Absolutely, and now I'm looking at David Lanza, guys. Dakota, David's down pit road here in that 33 machine. He's got so much damage to the left rear of that truck. A little bit of a right front damage. Is David going to be able to come back out here and run some laps?
Tell you what, guys, I'm going to run down there and I'm going to confirm. I do believe they'll be able to get back out and run some laps, but it will be with a few laps being put down there, guys.
Also see Luis Rodriguez making his way back out onto the racetrack. He's 20 laps down, but he's got pretty much that truck under control now. Not too much damage. I think it might be just a little bit of cosmetic damage, but nonetheless, 20 laps down, Kyle. He's just out there running, and he's in 15th spot, so just trying to pick up every point he can.
Yeah, for sure. We're actually going to see if he can get CJ Rivera up into the booth and tell him how he's going on right now. These guys are having a tough night so far. 1-2 in the points, get taken out, 4 points back. Dwayne Vincent's definitely looking to capitalize this. We're going to actually be joined here with CJ Rivera in the booth. CJ, how's the truck feeling so far tonight?
It's feeling pretty good. It's a little on the loose side. You got to take care of the right rear, but for the most part, we got a pretty good truck tonight.
I've been looking at you guys. Unfortunately, with that last wreck, there's a lot of good competition taken out. But you guys have been having a really good heated battle up for that first position.
Oh yeah, we've got a pretty good battle up there. I decided that I'd come get tires, be early, just get out of that. It's a little bit too much of a battle right now. We still got a lot of laps left to the race, and there's no sense to wreck the truck yet.
And tell us who makes it happen for you guys.
I'd like to thank Hippie's Paint Shop, Sweeper 1, RSR, ATV. I'd like to thank Ben, my spotter, man. Without him, a lot of stuff I couldn't do without him.
And that's CJ Rivera, ladies and gentlemen, and well, he's looking to have a good night. He's all the way back in 8th right now. He's been contending for the lead here, as we do see the lights are off on top of the pace cars. They're working their way off of the back straightaway and working their way into turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, pace car leads them into turn 3 at right about 55 miles an hour as G. Allen Lewis takes the lead back over. Dwayne Vincent's on the outside. Then running third right now is Joe the Show Rooter. Told you, he moved his way up into 3rd position. Now the 2 truck, Rhett McBride, he's up there. Keep an eye on him. He's tied with Vincent for the points lead. So basically right now those guys are about 1 and 2. And then Steve Ritter, of course, back there in 5th spot. Pace cars down low. We're going green flag racing. G. Allen Lewis takes us to the start checkered line here. And we're back under green.
G. Allen Lewis is going to get another good start. And unfortunately, we were talking about Bobby Terrell. He's disconnected from the server. So a heartbreaking race for Bobby Terrell. But we're going to look back up front, and G. Allen Lewis is definitely still making those restart works for him as he pulls a 5-6 truck length lead on the guy in 2nd.
Looking back here at the man behind 5th spot, John Abbott, who's trying to take over 4th from Mr. Ritter. Ritter was showing 5th. He's actually in 4th, and John Abbott now works underneath. Abbott needs to get a good finish here tonight. He's 13th in points, 40 behind the leader. Just 1 behind the 12th place guy, and that's Eric Malik, who's had a difficult night here. But Abbott, now he gets into Ritter in turn 1, and Ritter's in the wall.
These guys have been racing hard all night long, as we're going to see Steve Ritter get bumped from behind. But I want to reiterate, you're talking about Joe the Show Rooter. He's started all the way back in 16th. He's up to 2nd, so he's definitely trying to put on a show for the fans.
Wow, a little bit of contact in turn 1 with Abbott and Ritter there. Ritter's going to get the raw end of the deal. He puts that right rear and both left rear and right rear into the wall. Just basically put it in reverse and hit the wall and got a lot of damage now.
And actually, we were looking about that. Dakota, who did we see come down make green flag stops there? Or did those guys have some type of black flag going on there?
I cannot quite tell you guys. I'm still trying to go back and clarify it, and we'll come back to you as soon as we have that confirmed by race control, guys.
So the pace car lights are out, and we're back under caution here. G. Allen Lewis leads the field into turn 3 and turn 4. We're going to see if the leaders will come down to pit. Kyle, they're about halfway here, nearly halfway, 39 laps complete out of 90. 45 would be the halfway point. And G. Allen Lewis doesn't take a look down pit road, neither does Joe Rooter, who's running 2nd, and Vincent also stays out. You're watching ETV, powered by the HD Radio Network, the leader in sim broadcasting. We'll return after the commercial break to hopefully some green flag racing here and to the halfway point at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Hey dude, are you ready to rock and roll? If that's cool, then you need to do it over at HD Radio Network. HD Radio Network, 4 stations broadcasting 24/7 with everything from metal favorites to the 80s classic rock like legendary Leonard Skinner, Electric Light Orchestra, Foreigner, and bone-rattling, skull-crushing rock and roll on hard-driving radio. Bear Factory, Stone Temple Pilots, Def Leppard, and a whole lot more. HDRadioNetwork.com. Take your pick and rock your brains out, dude.
And welcome back, race fans, to the live coverage by ETV, powered by the HD Radio Network, of the Real Sim Racing Outlaw Truck Series here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We are under caution. G. Allen Lewis is leading it. And Kyle, he's doing a mighty good job out there front.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, G. Allen Lewis has basically been in his own zip code, especially when it comes to these restarts. He's been pulling these guys 5-6 truck lengths, which is hard to do, especially when you got some top-level guys in here. So we're going to see if G. Allen Lewis can still keep these guys guessing on these restarts here.
A couple of big movers here that's made their way into the front. John Klickner being one of the guys who's just solidified the top 10. He started all the way back in 19th. And just one position back from him, Hunter Davis in the 41 truck started 25th tonight. He's worked his way up into 11th. And those guys are pretty impressive. A good strategy there, and by those guys to be patient and work their way up to the front, Kyle.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, you gotta have patience around here, at Charlotte. But there's also another one that's been a big mover. Joe the Show Reuter started all the way back in 16th position. He's worked his way all up the way to second, as we're gonna see the lights go on top of the pace car as they're working through 1 and 2 right now.
Dakota, down on pit road, got a little bit of information for us. How's it looking down there?
I'll tell you what, guys, I just wanted to point out Nicholas Silver, 12th position, car number 30. This guy, he just got a black flag a group of other cars. Those were the cars you saw coming to pit road. Somebody was hanging back on the restart, and supposedly they had damage or something of the sort. I don't quite know who it was, but they were all black flagged. Race control did not clear those black flags either, so these guys were forced to come down pit road. Served the black flag. Everybody did it about the same time there. Nicholas Silver was one of those guys. He's up to 12th already, just with that caution. So keep your eyes on him and come back towards the front, guys.
34 trucks making the start here tonight, Kyle, at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Only 24 remaining on the lead lap. 25th, Jason Lester in the 92 Chevrolet, 2 laps down, and everybody behind him more than 6 laps down as the pace car is about to veer off and take that hard left turn into pit road, and we're going to go back to green flag racing with nearly halfway to go. G. Allen Lewis takes us to the green flag with another one of his awesome jump restarts.
As G. Allen Lewis got another really good start here, as Joe Reuter is going to fall in behind him. It's going to be Dwayne Vincent in third, as they're going to work off into 1 and 2 here. It can get pretty tight here.
Absolutely, and here we see him working off turn 2, and in car with the number 20 machine, that's Joe Reuter. Let's see if he's about 4 truck lengths behind. He's working that steering wheel. The man up front, G. Allen Lewis, gets a little bit loose in turn 3 there. You see the momentum there, Kyle? You see it starting to shift?
I'm not sure yet. We're going to see if Joe Reuter can have anything to do with G. Allen Lewis. They're going to be looking for these guys in second place. It's going to be all over the back bumper of G. Allen Lewis as they're going to come and work their way onto the backstretch here. If they can get themselves tucked up behind G. Allen Lewis, we're going to see what he's going to do. But like you said, G. Allen Lewis has been pretty loose coming off these corners lately.
You can tell that the draft here at Charlotte Motor Speedway is in full effect as Joe Reuter now closes within about a half of a truck length behind the leader, G. Allen Lewis. Dwayne Vincent's also right there behind second place, Joe the Show Reuter, as their single file going into turn 1. Allen Lewis to the lead. Now Dwayne Vincent looks underneath Joe Reuter. Nothing going on right there coming out of 2. They're single file.
They're going to work down the back straightaway. Dwayne Vincent's had a really strong truck as he's going to look onto the inside of Joe Reuter, but that's not going to work as Joe Reuter's been all over the back of G. Allen Lewis as they're going to work onto the front straightaway here. As G. Allen Lewis actually clips that white line there and he's going to get it a little bit loose. That's going to open up the door as Dwayne Vincent looks underneath as Joe Reuter blocks the door.
And I tell you what, this is starting to get a little fun as we hit the halfway mark. 46 laps on the books and 90 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway as Joe Reuter's starting to try to mount some sort of charge as he looks underneath the leader in turn 3. He's going to have the position in turn 4, and now the 81 machine slips to second and move Joe the Show into first as he leads for the first time here at Charlotte.
As Joe the Show Reuter is going to take over the top spot, we're going to see G. Allen Lewis actually got into the wall a little bit coming out of 4 as the number 11 truck of Dwayne Vincent is going to work underneath G. Allen Lewis here as they work onto the back straightaway.
Still side-by-side racing here for second, third, and fourth as Abbott's starting to make his truck presence known up front as he gives the 11 of Dwayne Vincent a little shove into turn 3. Vincent's going to have to get on the binders a little bit, maybe a little bit of red glow from the rotors there in the left front as the 81 of Allen Lewis gets into the wall, and now Vincent takes the lead over in 1.
I tell you what, a little bit further back in the 10 truck, he got a little bit of loose coming out of 4 there, and he almost wadded them all up here as we're going to see Dwayne Vincent take over the top spot as now G. Allen Lewis is going to work back underneath Dwayne Vincent as they go off into 3 and 4.
Man, I tell you, the man out front's got his hands full, and John Abbott has his hands full with C.J. LeVere now on that 4 truck making his way underneath, as you mentioned. Now, Joe Reuter, the Show, being shoved back to 3rd. He's in a tight spot here as the leaders are side by side coming into turn 1.
This is definitely great action going on here around Charlotte Motor Speedway. Dwayne Vincent's definitely not going to back down from a fight as we're going to see them work onto the back straightaway. Dwayne Vincent's going to see if he can pull down in front of Joe Reuter as they're going to work their way into 3 and 4 here as Dwayne Vincent isn't going to get down as Joe Reuter is there.
49 laps complete, 50 this time by, and Joe the Show Reuter working underneath Vincent for second spot. Can't quite claim it yet. Vincent's got a little bit of momentum, and here comes Abbott for 4th spot. He's racing side by side with LeVere for 4th.
I tell you what, I thought we were at Talladega, but the way these guys are racing, 2 by 2 by 2, it looks like we're back at Talladega all of a sudden.
Man, and I'll tell you, we've seen some bump drafting by John Abbott. You know, he got into the back of Vincent there a little bit. No harm, no foul, though. That's what I love. Charlotte Motor Speedway, a 1.5 mile racetrack that reminds you of a 2.5 miler like Talladega.
Oh, without a doubt here is C.J. LeVere is going to work underneath the 10 truck of John Abbott as they're going through 1 and 2 here. Nothing's really changed up front. It's still G. Allen Lewis followed by Joe Reuter and Dwayne Vincent.
And they are side by side, C.J. LeVere, John Abbott for that 4th spot. Abbott just can't quite clear LeVere. LeVere's down low, Abbott's up high. Vincent's in the middle in 3rd. 2nd belongs to the man, Joe the Show Reuter. As Vincent gets a little squirrely out of turn 4, Abbott takes over 3rd.
I tell you what, a little bit of a battle going up front here as Joe Reuter is going to look on the outside of G. Allen Lewis. Nothing doing there, but I tell you what, Dwayne Vincent definitely got super loose coming off 4. That almost opened the door for C.J. LeVere to make it 3 wide as they're working down the back straightaway. Dwayne Vincent underneath the 10 of John Abbott.
Look who snuck his way up into the 5th and 6th position. Michael Woolley, who led just a couple of laps shortly on some old tires here at Charlotte. He's made his way back up to the front. Now he's working on the high side of C.J. LeVere for that 6th spot as Michael Woolley now gives the number 10 truck a little bump into turn 1, John Abbott.
Tell you what, Joe Reuter's been making that arc working as he's going to get a huge run down the back straightaway and get alongside of G. Allen Lewis as they work into 3 and 4. As Dwayne Vincent's going to still working over the 3rd position for trying to protect him from C.J. LeVere, John Abbott, and Michael Woolley.
And the new leader now, Joe the Show Reuter takes it over from Allen Lewis. Vincent now works underneath the 2nd place vehicle of Allen Lewis. C.J. Lavere single file behind those guys, and Michael Woolley move him up to 5th, and here comes Ryan Bueller, the man who won at Dega last week. He now works underneath Woolley in 6th position.
I tell you what, Ryan Bueller kind of came out of nowhere. He had that little kerfuffle when he went through the infield, saved it, gathered it all back up, came down pit road, got 4 fresh tires, and he's battling as he makes his way up into the top 5.
And I'm going to tell you something, Hunter Davis in the 41 truck, just a couple of spots behind him in 9th, 6th position being shown now. He started 25th, guys. He's got his Chevrolet up to the front. Can he do something with it? He's got Ryan Bueller, last week's winner at Talladega, in front of him with a little bit of a draft. I think he can. He's working in turn 3 here.
I tell you what, I'm pretty sure all the race fans are up on their edge of their seat, because you know what, I'm definitely sure I know I am. This is really good racing, as we're going to see C.J. Lavere work underneath of G. Allen Lewis, as Dwayne Vincent's going to try to make a move underneath Joe Reuter as he's bumping him going off into 1 and 2 here.
Kyle, it's almost like we've seen the white flag being shown for the last 10 to 15 laps. It's almost like that type of racing, you know, where there's one to go and you got to go for it, as we have another lead pass here. Out front down the backstretch, Dwayne Vincent. Can he lead now here at Charlotte? And he does. Joe the Show Reuter gives up the number 1 spot out of turn 4. And Vincent now leads, and here comes Reuter again underneath.
Reuter definitely did the crossover move to perfection, but Dwayne Vincent is going to lead it at the line. That was definitely close. Can you imagine if that's what it's going to look like at the last lap? We're going to be yelling and screaming up here in the booth.
I don't know if these guys can make it to the finish here, Kyle. These guys are running hard, and I think that they just got what they wanted, and it's the yellow flag. It's going to calm things down here, hopefully a little bit, and oh, it's Michael Woolley who got himself all the way up to the front. He spins it out, Kyle. And I believe that John Abbott was the man who got into the left rear quarter panel of the 13 truck into turn 2.
Oh, for sure. Michael Woolley definitely didn't get around on his own. John Abbott kind of moved up a little bit and took him out. But, man, I definitely tell you what, we all definitely need a breather after that one, because that was some crazy racing.
Well, me and you both know, Kyle Peddle, that the turn 1 real estate at Charlotte Motor Speedway is worth a fortune, and both of them went for it. And that's all she wrote, as Robert Frost once said.
Yeah, you guys, unfortunately we're not in Vegas, so they both gambled and they both lost. They both went for the same real estate, and it's always that old saying, 8 tires can take the corner better than 4. Well, I guess if you have 6 tires there, that's not going to work.
So the dice is rolling, Dakota, as Kyle Peddle points out, and here comes the leaders. Joe Reuter, who's going to take 4, who's going to take 2?
Tell you what, guys, I think everybody coming down there still a little over 30 laps remaining. You will see 4 tires from everybody. I don't think 2 will do it. She'll get freight trained. I think we saw a little bit of strategy played out last caution, and that car ended up going to the back. But I've got my eyes right now on the leader, or the second place car, Dwayne Vincent, 11, coming down for right sides coming up any time now. It should be a full tank of fuel, I'm hearing. Right side's coming up, and they're hoping that this thing will maybe tighten up. I think they're making a few adjustments, but you can't quite tell. As the left sides go up, and T is down and away. He might be able to beat out, I believe that's Joe Reuter. He's going to beat Reuter out for the new lead, guys.
Yeah, Vincent now over control again as he came down pit road there. Got a good stop. Joe Reuter was the leader going in, but now the new leader, Dwayne Vincent, is out. And Dakota, it looks like everybody no one stayed out that was on the lead lap. We've seen David Lanza here in 26th, Jason Lester, 25th spot, Luis Rodriguez, who was tied up in that early on wreck. Hey, how about this, man? He's moved up from 34th to 28 by just staying out there. He's claiming some points, and of course Jimmy North is directly behind the pace car as we're working caution.
As we're actually going to see right now, if Scott Cranberg's in the booth. Scott, you got a copy?
Yeah, 10-4.
Tell you what, that was some pretty crazy racing for that last 10-15 laps. What did it look like from the driver's seat?
I was just, my teammate Ryan was making holes and I was following him through it. But yeah, a lot of side-by-side and a lot of room for error, but it was good racing right there.
I thought Talladega was over, but obviously here at Charlotte in this 1.5 mile, that draft is definitely playing havoc for you guys.
Yeah, now since the new build, the draft is really, you can pull right up on guys, but it just puts everybody on top of each other, so it's just tricky at times.
Tell us who makes it happen for you, Scott.
Well, I'm Team GSR, and Beaver Buzz is my primary, so I just want to do a shout out to those guys there and my teammates.
All right, and Scott Grangberg, have a good rest of your race, bud, and it's going to be pretty crazy here.
Yeah, thanks again, guys.
So that was Scott Grangberg, ladies and gentlemen. He's giving you a first-hand look here of how crazy the racing's been.
Alrighty, we're going to go now trackside to where Mr. Joe, the show rooter's at. Joe, you got a copy? This is Mike up in the booth, man.
10-4, what's up, Mike?
Man, I don't know about you, but I think every blood vessel in my neck was popping out during that.
Yeah, man, this is really fun. This is awesome.
All right, guys.
That race, man. Did you copy? I think I had a little connection problem. I was asking you about telling you every vein in my neck's popped out, man. How's the racing in that truck right now?
Well, Mike, it's really fun. Truck's handling perfect. I can pretty much put it wherever I want. So, just pretty much got to be smart here these last 30 laps or so and put her in position to win it.
Joe, you're sitting 8th in points, man, right now. 28 behind Doug Roth, who's had a bad night. You've obviously you know about Bobby Terrell, who's also now out of the race. But Dwayne Vincent, man, he's up there. He's right underneath you right now. He's on that pole position, if you will, when we go back green. What kind of mentality are you going to go here with the last about 30 laps?
Well, after last week's race, I'm kind of not looking at the points at all. I'm just kind of out here to win these last 3.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Joe, the man who's now claimed the title, Joe, the show rooter. He's putting on a show here tonight for us. He started all the way back in 16th position. He's worked his way up to 2nd. He's been to the front. He's been back. He's been to the front. And here he is again, back in 2nd spot, Kyle. And the pace cars on the backstretch. And we're about to have, hopefully, another exciting 10 to 15 laps.
I'll tell you what, these guys are definitely going to have to pull those belts tight one more time, because this is going to be a crazy 30-lap shootout as we're going to work our way through 3 and 4. Lights are out on the top of the pace car. I'm not sure if I'm ready to go back green. I'm not sure if these guys are ready to go back green, but it's going to be definitely dogfight for the rest of this race.
I think dogfight pretty much sums it up exactly right, Kyle. This has been one heck of a dogfight. The first half of the race was kind of interesting, but man, I'll tell you, the second part of this race is getting even better as Dwayne Vincent leads us back to the green as G. Allen Lewis takes over 2nd from Joe the Show Rooter as he falls in line. Single file in turn 3, 62 on the board, 90 laps total.
As these guys are trying to file themselves out single file, don't think that this is going to last long. As G. Allen Lewis is going to make a move underneath of Dwayne Vincent. G. Allen Lewis has always had a good, strong restart truck as we got caution back out on the Speedway here. So I guess these guys weren't ready to go back green.
And I'm trying to find the caution, and that might have been some debris there because I don't see anybody around on the racetrack yet. That might have been a caution for debris there, Kyle.
I think so too. I didn't see anything out on the track, so I guess that's the new thing iRacing has implemented into these hosted sessions is debris cautions.
I like it.
I do too, but we're gonna see. Nobody's obviously gonna come down. These guys just got going just long enough to take a deep breath, and all of a sudden they got to breathe again. So obviously we're trying to calm ourselves down for the last 24 laps.
And now we're going to go to Dakota, who's got a little bit of information on that surprisingly yellow flag.
Tell you what, guys. 17th position, lap 62. The number 46 of Randy Wells goes into the corner, almost gets into the corner, and he just goes straight into the number 13 of Michael I believe it was Woolby. Just getting caught up again, and then Randy is almost run over, gets to the apron, slows down, and comes to a complete stop on the track and gets off. So that was Randy Wells just getting into trouble there, I guess.
Alright, so we're working caution again here at Charlotte Motor Speedway with the Real Sim Racing Outlaw Truck Series, where if you just missed the last 20 laps, you've missed one of the best racing I think I've seen all year long. And we're just getting started in 2013. We'll bring you the rest of the ETV's lineup when we return after the commercial break. You're watching the ETV. It's powered by the HD Radio Network, leader in the Sim Broadcasting Series.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Welcome back, race fans, to the ETV's live coverage of the RSR Outlaw Truck Series, and welcome radio fans. It's presented to you by the Powered by the HD Radio Network. Leader in sim broadcasting here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Under the lights, 65 complete. Nearly 15 to go here, or 25 to go here, Kyle.
I think it might actually be a full moon tonight, even if it's not, because these guys have been racing each other crazy. We're going to reset the field again quickly. Still leading the way is Dwayne Vincent in the number 11 machine, G. Allen Lewis in second, Joe Reuter third, Ryan Bueller fourth. Hunter Davis is going to round out your top five. CJ LeVere is going to be sixth. Patrick Hahey is going to be seventh. Scott Grangberg eighth. Sean Casto ninth. And rounding out your top 10 is Nicholas Silver.
And folks, if you're just joining us, the two guys that were out front basically in the points lead, Doug Roth, who was leading, and Bobby Terrell, who was 2 points behind him. First, Doug Roth was caught up in a very, very early accident. He's working himself back up to 19th spot, doing a mighty good job of that. But Bobby Terrell, folks, hit the wall coming out of the front stretch there, hit the outside wall very hard, tore the race car up. And he is now behind the garage. He's being shown 31 laps down now. He's back in 30th position, and he could go even further back, Kyle.
We're talking about points, and unfortunately, we just had a huge swing in points again. Scott Grangberg just fell out of the server, so tough luck for him. He's not going to finish where he wants to. He's going to go multiple laps down. So heartbreaking moment for the internet connection for Scott Grangberg.
And of course, Granberg was sitting 7th in points, 24 back, so that is another heartbreaker for him. Dwayne Vincent, Rhett McBride. Vincent's leading the race. Rhett McBride is up in 10th spot. And then you've got Nicholas Silver. Nicholas Silver is in 9th position. And of course, Joe Reuter, who's in 8th in the points, is 3rd on the racetrack. So some things have to happen here up front for some stuff, for some of these guys to catch back up, because Dwayne Vincent's leading this race in 3rd in points.
Well, we're also going to hopefully, for the next caution or whatever, actually during this green flag run, we're going to try to get Mark Bratcher up here and tell him about how his night went. But as the pace car lights are off on top of the pace car, they're going to work off of turn 4 here, as you're going to see the pace car make the left-hand turn down into pit road. Dwayne Vincent's going to lead him down. His green flag is back up in the air, and Dwayne Vincent, he's not been getting the restart, as G. Allen Lewis is going to pull side by side with him. This is going to be interesting. I think G. Allen Lewis might be able to pull Dwayne Vincent coming off of 2.
And coming off of turn 2, folks, reach over there to the radio dials and to the home speakers and turn it up, crank it up on ETV Live as the race cars come down the backstretch.
And that was cranked. We just went crank it up there, as we got actually Mark Bratcher in the booth here. He was one of the earlier cautions. His computer froze up and he got stuck on the inside wall. Take us what happened there, Mark.
Yeah, exactly what you said. You know, the truck was running great. We were just biding our time and just running and turning laps. I had 3 of my teammates in front of me, so there's no rush to go to the front. And then, you know, just just like the gearing box locked up. You know, that's the best way to explain it. And we went straight to the infield, and I just hollered out on team speak because I had my teammates around me that had everything locked up, and they guided me into the infield and ultimately into the wall.
Yeah, usually here in iRacing, sometimes those walls are a little bit tricky. Usually you get stuck in them, but sometimes you bounce off. So obviously, I guess for the rest of the guys in the field here, you kind of got lucky that you got stuck in the wall there.
Yeah, absolutely. Something like that happens, the last thing you want to do is come back in and take out half the field, you know, innocent bystanders. So, you know, we were fortunate to, you know, keep it down to a one truck accident, and it's just one of those nights. You know, we've had a good run at Talladega last week, and we had a good run going tonight, and got wrecked last week and wrecked ourselves this week. So maybe we can get it together next week and have a good run.
And we got a caution on the track here. The 17 got loose going over the bump. Mark, quickly before you leave, tell us who makes it happen for you.
Yeah, everybody out at Massengale Appliances, Massengale Heating and Air, all my teammates at GSR, Scott Granberg, Joe the Show Rooter, Ryan, Hunter Davis, all those guys. You know, we're all teammates that work together, and we all work together really hard. So special thanks to those guys.
And that was Mark Bratcher up in the booth here, and Bill Schoenover, like we said on that last caution, kind of came over the bump, got loose, and unfortunately John Abbott was also collected in it. His motor is basically remoted itself, and it's smoking all over the track, so tough night for John Abbott.
Yeah, John Abbott involved, and then you've got Stephen Herring, who pretty much stayed in the back trying to avoid this type of stuff, was involved. And of course Michael Woolley again involved in that wreck, and man, that truck's just handling pretty bad. It's almost like it's wanting to turn right on him, like he's got a bad alignment. Michael Woolley in the 17th spot now, and working another caution here. 73 on the board now, Kyle, as the leader Dwayne Vincent is sitting out there sitting pretty. Joe Rooter second. Hunter Davis, how about Hunter Davis, man? Telling you, moving all the way up from 25th into that third spot.
Yeah, for sure. Hunter Davis has been having a good time here. But Gian Lewis restarted second, all the way, falling all the way himself back to 5th.
And tell you what, I'm going to do the ETV 2013 lineup, like I mentioned before the last commercial. The Monday night Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, sponsored by the Bob Earl Racing, gets fired underway February 25th at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is going to be an exciting event, guys. They've been waiting all year long for this after the 2012 ended back at around November. December they had the month off, and now they're doing these little small series here, and that'll get started very soon on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. ETV Live Team Series Racing, sponsored by the HD Radio Network. And of course Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, you can join me and Dakota Ehrman that calls the Maritime iRacing League Short Track Racing. It's the Eastern Canadians that drive those late models around South Boston Speedway, New Smyrna, and a couple of other small tracks. Thursday night consists of the Real Sim Racing Asphalt Assault Series, sponsored by this Inside Sim Racing TV. That event gets fired up at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, Friday night, if you're not taking the wife out to dinner, at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Super Speedway Cup Series. All presented to you by ETV Live, powered by the HD Radio Network, leader in sim broadcasting, Kyle. And then, of course, we've got tonight the RSR Outlaw Truck Series on a Thursday night. Gets fired up under 9:30. And then, of course, on Monday nights, we've still got a couple of races to go in the Icebreaker Winter Series. Of course, you can catch me and Wesley Outland and Dakota Ehrman on that one. Dakota, that series is almost wound up just like the Outlaw Truck Series is. And we understand Dakota has left his post and down pit road, and he's gone to the concession stand. And while we're under this caution break, but Kyle, the top 5 here, man, they're starting to shake up a little bit more. You got Patrick Hawhey, Sean Casto, who's sitting back there in 7th now. A couple of new names up front here.
Yeah, these guys have been trying to buy their time back in the back of the pack here, kind of missing the wrecks, dipping and diving, and so far they've been having a solid night, so they've just been working their way around. You know, guys like G. Allen Lewis that we've been seeing all the way up front tonight's falling himself all the way back to 5th. The guys like C.J. Levere fell all the way back to 8th, so we're going to see what these guys can do if they can make their way back up to the front, but still, nothing's really changed with the top two. It's been Dwayne Vincent leading Joe Reuter, and this has been pretty intense battling here.
Looks like we got Dakota Ehrman down on pit road. He's standing right beside the 17 truck of Bill Schoonover. Dakota, what's going on?
Yeah, I got Bill actually out here standing next to me, waiting on the truck to get entirely fixed here. Bill, how much longer do you think it's going to be before you get back on the track?
It shouldn't be but a couple more minutes. We're hoping anyway, get this race finished up. Every point will count.
And what exactly happened going through turns 1 and 2 right there?
Well, I really don't know if it was had a tire going down or what. This setup, you know, every now and then everything feels fine, and then all of a sudden the back end wants to come around, and during that turn it started to come around, and I started riding the brake, but the guy behind me, he couldn't stay off me, and if I wouldn't have got hit from behind, I might have been able to save it, but you know, it's just one of them things. The guy in the back can't react quick enough, and you know, it was all my fault. For some reason, the thing just starts to go around on me.
And Bill, when you get back out there, what's the plan going to be? You just going to kind of ride around the back, just try to gain as many spots as you can from wrecked cars, or?
Yeah, we're just going to try to finish this out and stay out of the way of the leaders. You know, we'll probably be a couple laps down.
All right, and there you have from the 17 machine, going to throw it back up to the booth with the green flag.
Back to green flag racing. Dwayne Vincent is the leader, and Joe the Show Reuter stuck up high in the second position, Kyle, as Hunter Davis now moves his way up into second. He's about half of a truck length behind Vincent coming out of turn 2. The draft's in effect, and the 03's right behind him down low.
I tell you what, Hunter Davis got shot out like a cannon, made a 3-wide move. Got all the way up to second, all the way up to the back bumper of Dwayne Vincent. He's going to get Dwayne Vincent loose as they're going to run down the front straightaway here. Hunter Davis is going to go to the point.
For the first time tonight, Hunter Davis has moved up into first position. He didn't get credit for the lap lead there. Dwayne Vincent edged him by nose hair as Hunter Davis now being pushed by Ron Bueller, last week's winner at Talladega, as he now is underneath, pressured by the 81 of G. Allen Lewis in turn 3. Nearly 3 wide as Hunter Davis leads them in turn 4.
I'll tell you what, these guys are all over top of each other. I'm hearing some of these guys dooring each other as C.J. Levere got into the truck outside of him as he goes into the outside wall. These guys have been on top of each other as Dwayne Vincent's going to get shuffled all the way back to the 6th position here. These guys were looking like they were trying to go 3 wide in 2 places here. So it's definitely been getting some tight racing as they're going to try to go 3 wide for the lead as Hunter Davis blocks G. Allen Lewis down the back straightaway.
Hunter Davis putting the wall all over the 81 of G. Allen Lewis, the block move, if you will, and now he's got the Chevrolet of Ryan Bueller, the 03 machine up high. Ryan couldn't quite make it at the line, but he's got the lead in turn 1 by half of a truck length, as Ryan Bueller, last week's winner at Talladega, now contains the lead out of turn 2. Can he make it stick into turn 3 as they're 3 wide down the backstretch now?
As they're going 3 wide down the back straightaway, the 67's going to get loose, and we're going to get a caution. So we're going to have underneath a 10-lap shootout. I don't know, Michael. Is it going to be crazy? I think it's going to be crazy for the last 10 laps.
And that was Sean Casto in the 67 Chevrolet getting a little bit of loose coming out of turn 2. And he looked to correct it, and then he just overcorrected it. The good news for Casto is that he didn't hit anything, just a lot of tire wear probably. He's got to come down pit road and get 4 fresh Goodyears. But Sean Casto in the 17th position now in the 67 machine brought out the caution. Kyle, you mentioned a shootout here. Man, I think we've been seeing a lot of them here tonight already.
Oh, yeah, well, if these last 20 and then the last 3 laps are any indication of anything, it's going to be like Talladega. These guys have been blocking each other, so you got to be careful with that. Tempers are definitely boiling now because it's go time, so you're going to have to be careful here. You block somebody wrong, somebody's sending you going to the next corner, and you're taking out about 6 or 7 trucks.
And let's go down to G. Allen Lewis, who's in the 81 Chevrolet. G. Allen, this is Mike with ETV up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Alan Lewis, man, I tell you what, you're putting on a show. We're going to have to start nicknaming you G. Allen the Show Lewis or something like that because, man, I tell you, it's exciting out there at Charlotte Motor Speedway under the lights.
It is, man.
So you're sitting in second spot. We've already know that you can contain and run for the lead here. You got Ryan Bueller, the man who won last week at Talladega, in front of you, and Hunter Davis, who's come from nowhere but 25th spot when he qualified, and now he's worked his machine all the way up to third. And then of course Joe the Show Rooter's back there in fourth, and Vincent, who's led a lot of laps tonight's in fifth. Can you get the win home for the crew down there tonight?
First of all, I might be having some trouble with my microphone, but yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. These things got a lot of grip, big time draft, so you're just going to have to, I think the guy leading the race on the final lap is going to lose it. So he's either going to lose it or he's going to get wrecked because he's probably going to try to block. These things get big time draft, and you just got to position yourself in the right way, kind of similar to Talladega, believe it or not. So we'll see what happens. You know, it's just going to come down to who's going to block who and who's going to get the runner where. So a lot of grip, a lot of fun, and you know, just having a blast out here tonight, that's for sure.
Go get him, Tiger.
I appreciate it.
Of course, that was G. Allen Lewis, the man who's run a lot of laps up front here tonight, Kyle. And he's got Ryan Bueller, who's just made his Chevrolet lead a couple of laps here late into tonight's race, but he's positioned himself, like Alan said, to where he's at right now, so good for him.
Without a doubt, we're going to reset the top 10 because there's a lot of moving around going on there. First is going to be Ryan Bueller. G. Allen Lewis is going to be second. Hunter Davis is in third. Joe Reuter is going to be fourth. Dwayne Vincent fifth. C.J. Levera sixth. Patrick Hahey is going to be seventh. Rhett McBride is going to be 8th. 9th is going to be Nicholas Silver. And rounding out the top 10 is going to be Doug Fleming. So these guys have been definitely trading and swapping and battling with each other. So we're going to have about a maybe 6 or 7 lap shootout. So it's going to be crazy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And right now, as it stands, if the race were to end now, which it's not, Dwayne Vincent, who sits 5th right now on the racetrack, would be your points leader. Doug Roth, who was involved in a wreck early on, has now worked his way up to, believe it or not, guys, 13th position. Doug's been real quiet tonight, and he's worked that truck up to 13th. So, but he would actually lose the position. He's only 2 up on Terrell, who's now out of the race, and he's 4 up on Vincent, who sits 5th, a couple of positions in front of him. So, Dakota, what you got for us on pit road?
Tell you what, George Wood doing a wonderful job of feeding information to the broadcast, and he just came to me with some new news. G. Allen Lewis is actually kind of sandwiched by Hollywood Motorsports. I believe they are GSR Racing also, is another name for him. So he's in second. He's surrounded by 1st, 3rd, and 4th. Those are all teammates there. And I know that 3rd and 4th, they're trying to work out a deal right now. I think Joe Reuter wants the inside, and he's trying to get around Hunter Davis on the restart. So watch for a little bit of teamwork to play, especially with one of them being the leader. They can't control the restart, guys.
Kyle, it's getting down to crunch time here, man. Turn 1, we've already talked about the bump that's there, and turn 4, it's loose. And then, of course, the dog leg. Not much real estate there, or very expensive real estate, if you will. What do you do here, man? Do you kind of lay back on the restart, or to keep the tires from spinning? Or do you kind of give it all she's got with about 5-6 laps to go when we go back green?
I'll tell you what I'd be doing is it's 5 laps to go, or it's going to be 7 or 6 laps to go, so it's crunch time. You can't leave anything back. You're basically, at this point, it's either you bring that truck back or you bring the steering wheel back. There is no in-between. It's either checkers or wreckers. These guys are fighting for the win here. Like you said, Dwayne Vincent, he's got a bit of a bigger picture here with the points battle, but he still doesn't care. He still wants that W. And we were also talking about Roth. Roth has also put in some big damage control. He's really fixed up the back machine on that 43, so he's been definitely working his way around, trying to have a quiet night. He's worked his way all the way up to 13, so he's been definitely doing a good job of damage control.
So the steak's off the table, and the cake is on the plate. And nervous chatter is all over the team radios right now, guys. Lots of crew chiefs biting their nails and looking down. They can't look, and here comes the green flag. The pace car's down, and a little bit of a spin there by the leader. Ryan Bueller spun the tires, Kyle.
Yeah, Ryan Bueller definitely did get a little bit loose on that restart there. You got to be careful. G. Allen Lewis got a pretty good restart like he's been doing all night long. So look for C.J. Levera is going to go on the outside of Hunter Davis. what a power move by C.J. Levere, but up front it's going to be G. Allen Lewis who's going to pull in front of Ryan Bueller here, which has been kind of the same as, oh man, their contact is the second goes hard into the outside wall, and into the inside wall. There's big junk all over the place.
Caution flag is not out just yet, guys, but Ryan Bueller's smoke pouring as now the caution does come out in turn 4, and it looks like a Talladega big one in turn 4 as the man out front, G. Allen Lewis, it almost looked like Bueller thought that he had him cleared there.
Yeah, that's definitely what it looked like, and these guys wrecked so fast, so big, I got kind of tongue-tied there. I didn't know what was going on there. I didn't expect that to happen there, but I don't know. Y'all ready for a one-lap shootout? It was looking like that's what's going to happen.
There's smoke, heavy smoke, coming from the man of Hunter Davis in the 41 truck. The 23 of John Klickner involved in that wreck. Stephen Herring, Jimmy North, Eric Malik, Doug Roth barely escapes carnage. But a man who went upside down in that wreck, C.J. Levere, and also Patrick Haughey, who was running 7th. Both of those trucks have smoke pouring back from the engines. Levere is in bad shape as G. Allen Lewis, the man out front. Can he survive? Joe, the show rooters, there in 2nd. And Dwayne Vincent, the man who's 1st in points right now, as the race has progressed, is sitting in 3rd, Kyle.
I tell you what, there's definitely a car that got lucky going through there. Car number 98 of Steve Haring made his way, missed a couple cars coming through that wreck, so definitely he had lady luck on his side. But another one who's made his way up into the 8th place, doing a lot of damage control. He's only now 5 back of Dwayne Vincent, so now the points battle is Dwayne Vincent, as they finished as they run, is it's only 1 point now.
I'm going to tell you something, Kyle, and I know you already know this, but fans, if you're just joining us, and I know the radio guys are now with us, the radio fans from HD Radio Network, glad to have you on board with us tonight here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway with the Outlaw Truck Series. But Doug Roth was caught up in the very first caution of tonight's event, and we thought that, man, it was over for him, and he has literally clawed his way, cat-clawed his way back up into the top 10. He's sitting 8th, and like you mentioned, just 1 point now that separates him and Vincent as it stands, as Vincent is in 3rd, and a lot of stuff can still happen with about 3 laps, 2 laps to go when we go back green, Kyle.
I've actually been trying to listen to some people here, and thank you, George Wood, for once again saying a lot of information to us here in the broadcast booth. It's looking like we're going to get a one-lap shootout, so it's going to look like we're going to have to try to get a big jump on that restart, and guess who's going to be leading them down? Mr. Restart tonight, G. Allen Lewis.
You'll see they're coming down to complete lap 87. 90 is on the board. 87th lap was completed, or that would be the 86th lap completed. So there's 4 to go right now. There's 4 laps to go. We're under caution. The lights are still on. We have not been given the 2 to go signal yet, so we may get, like you mentioned, a 1-lap shootout. Oh, Lord. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be crazy. We're going to see if Joe Reeder's going to be able to time G. Allen Lewis's restart. Hasn't been able to do it all night tonight. And I think if G. Allen Lewis can get himself off to this 5-6 car length lead like he normally has,
absolutely,
he's going to be able to get this W, which he's been trying to battle all night. He has definitely had the dominant car all night long. Been able to lead the most laps so far. Has been able to absolutely destroy these guys on restarts.
You're not kidding. G. Allen Lewis has had, I think, tonight at Charlotte, the best restarts out of anybody. And, of course, G. Allen Lewis is leading the race, but he is not in contention for the championship. He's all the way back in 32nd. This is only his 3rd start. But so far, G. Allen Lewis, when he's raced, he's had 1 top 5 and 1 top 10. So pretty consistent there. And now he's in his 3rd race, Kyle, and he's in the lead, and he could win. And now we're getting reports that the man that got into a wreck earlier and had a lot of damage but got it down pit road and got it fixed, the 52 truck of Aaron Grosskopf. Dakota, Aaron has beat some odds here tonight, and he's up to 12th position.
Guys, I don't think this car is fully repaired. They still have quite a truck, excuse me, but still they're not fully repaired on it. They've got the thing where it's just barely rolling, basically. It's safe. I mean, they've picked up a bunch of lucky dogs and have picked up 3 laps, and he's just kind of riding around missing a lot of the mayhem, and that has put him in the position he's in, guys. He's just hanging on that track right now, and he's in a good spot to get a good finish here.
Not bad there, Kyle, as the pace car leads the field. What's left of it, there's 15 cars on the lead lap. Michael Woodley being the one that's back there on the tail end, 15th position. Back from C.J. Lavere in 16th all the way to Mark Bratcher, who sits 68 laps on in the garage area in 34th position. This race is nearly almost over. The lights on the pace car are out, and we're about to go green.
As they're going to work down the back straightaway here, actually just a quick shot. It's going to be a 2-lap shootout, and we're going to do a quick shoutout here for Aaron. Most people don't realize him, but he's actually a disabled racer, so he's been able to make his truck work, get himself all the way up to 12th, and he's only using his hands. No feet involved there.
And of course, you can check out Aaron and all his adventures at disabledracers.com. Disabledracers.com. Aaron Grosskopf in the 52 truck here tonight in 12th spot. Led a couple laps a couple of weeks ago, and now the green flag is out for hopefully the last time, or what will be the last time. G. Allen Lewis picks it up, and we're back under green as Joe Reuter, the show, works in second position in turn 1.
As they're going to work down in 1 and 2 right now, we're going to see Dwayne Vincent see if he can get a run on Joe Reuter, get underneath him and take over the second spot. Joe Reuter's going to get that draft going down the back straightaway. Let's see if he can pull alongside of G. Allen Lewis as they go off into 1 and 2, or into 3 and 4.
Keep an eye out on the second position truck, and that's the number 20 of Joe Reuter, turn 4. Here we go. The flagman has the white flag in the air. Reuter looks to the outside, Allen Lewis to the inside, still single file on the backstretch. Now here comes the dog leg. Joe Reuter sneaking in turn 1 up high.
As they work through 1 and 2 right now, no matter what happens here, it's green all the way to the end. Joe Reuter's going to get a run here as G. Allen Lewis gets blocked as he gets turned. As he hits the inside wall, G. Allen Lewis kind of had that coming. He did block Joe Reuter there.
Oh, no. Dwayne Vincent. Absolutely, Dwayne Vincent pulls it now. Here comes Joe the Show. Tags Vincent into the wall. And now Vincent's end over end. He does not win. The winner is Doug Fleming. The 28 Chevrolet comes from nowhere, Kyle, and wins the RSR Outlaw Truck Series under the lights at Charlotte Motor Speedway. What a finish.
Wow. That kind of reminds me of Chris Buescher, or Buescher at Daytona. It was all the way back in 20th position, coming to the green 2 laps ago, and won it on the last lap. Doug Fleming. Wow. I don't know. He's going to go through the infield here. He's going to burn it down. He definitely deserves that one. What a race.
What a race. Doug Fleming putting the Chevrolet Silverado at the right place at the right time as Vincent was turned hard into the outside wall here, about 15 to 20 feet short. And I'm going to tell you something. Vincent's in 7th spot now as he crossed the line, and he's hopping in the car. He can't wait to get out of it as Doug Fleming starts to celebrate here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, doing an old reverse style celebration here as Doug Fleming greets the fans backwards in reverse.
I tell you what, Dwayne Vincent let the server. We thought that we were going to have a fight there between Joe Reuter and Dwayne Vincent. They were going crazy at each other. Dwayne definitely did nothing wrong. Joe definitely came down on top of him there and turned him into the outside wall. And Doug Fleming kind of saw the whole, it's kind of like the seas parted for him. And Doug Fleming, what a ride, brings it home in the top position.
So Doug Fleming wins the race coming out of nowhere. Nicholas Silver, who is in 5th in points, 14 back from Raw, finishes 2nd. Rhett McBride, the man who's going to take over the points lead, is in 3rd position. Steve Ritter 4th. And then you've got 5th spot, Kyle Eric Malik.
Coming home in 6th is Joe Reuter. We're going to have to see if there's going to be any supplementary penalties to that one, because that was a crazy ending. Coming home in 7th is going to be Dwayne Vincent. Should have been your winner tonight, but unfortunately had some tough luck there. Sean Castle's going to come home 8th. Doug Routh 9th. Definitely what a salvageable day for Doug Routh. We're going to see how many points he lost. He's definitely not going to keep the lead, but he's definitely did a lot of damage control tonight. And rounding out your top 10 is Stephen Haring.
Now, again, Kyle, you just you made an excellent point there. This is actually unofficial. I need to make sure that that is known as looking back at the replay on my monitor, there was a lot of different type of incidents that did take place there. We're not sure exactly if anyone will be given a penalty, but so far, this is the unofficial result, and Doug Fleming has came, out of nowhere and has won this race. So congrats to him. The 28 Chevrolet Silverado putting the truck at from 29th position to first position. Sorry, I had a lot of notes handed to me there, trying to read them at the same time and talk. It cannot happen. I don't think anybody can do that, Kyle.
Yeah, and apparently what we're hearing from the infield is that Dwayne Vincent and Joe Ritter have been called to the haulers, so definitely going to be some arguments going on there.
So as some things get settled out here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, we'll see who is the winner, who's second, who's third, and hopefully get the interviews when we return. You're watching ETV, powered by the HD Radio Network, leader in sim broadcasting, Charlotte Motor Speedway. Landon Huffman coming to a comfortable lead, coming out of 2. He's got about 8 car lengths, put it half a second over Dwayne Vincent as Chad Cole works the number 2 spot.
Time is running out. Vincent's got it. Cole wants it to the wall. Chevrolet puts the bumper to the 13 of Vincent. Vincent not backing down. He's in second. When we got one car on the bottom, the 10 car.
And welcome back to the ETV live coverage of the Outlaw Truck Series with the Real Sim Racing League at Charlotte Motor Speedway, where there's been one wild finish as Doug Fleming had come from nowhere to win the race, and Nicholas Silver, he finishes second. Nicholas, talk to us about the wreck at the end. Man, how did you manage to get through that?
Honestly, I just cranked it to the left and was praying there. I just slid out of the way of everything and somehow picked up number 2.
Now, Nicholas, you came into tonight's event 5th in points, 14 back from Doug Roth. Exiting tonight's event, we're not 100% sure, but you could have claimed a new points lead. If not, you're just maybe a point or 2 behind Roth, who finished in a surprisingly 9th place tonight.
Yeah, I'm just trying to stay consistent here as the season goes through. Consistently plays a big role in picking up that championship at the end, and I want the big prize.
All right, now, Nick, let's talk Rockingham next week, next Thursday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Qualifying gets underway. How's Rockingham? It's one of those tracks that's kind of new to the circuit of iRacing. Are you familiar with it? And if you are, what kind of shot can you give us next week?
Well, I actually raced in a couple races last night before, in a couple other leagues, and it's definitely a tough track. There's it's pretty narrow, not a lot of room for air, and it's got to be smooth there.
And finally, Nick, getting that number 30 Chevrolet Silverado into the second spot tonight. Who makes it happen for you?
Well, definitely got to thank my sponsor, Speed Energy. Got to thank my teammate for the help, Sean Casto, and thank you all for putting on this broadcast, and RSR for the league.
Absolutely. That was Nicholas Silver, who finished second tonight, and now we're standing by with Rhett McBride, the man who finished third in that 2 Chevrolet Silverado. Rhett, tell us how you got through the to the carnage at the end of the race there. We're having some difficulties there with Rhett McBride. He finished third, but Steve Ritter, man, you finished fourth tonight. Tell us about the end there, the caution, or actually the carnage there. That there were trucks flipping and turning left and right all over the place, and somehow or another you managed to get through it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I got through it. I think I closed my eyes and stepped on the gas because I knew the finish line was ahead, but I'm not really sure what happened. I think Dwayne got hooked a little bit by Joe Ruder, and the rest is kind of, you guys saw what happened. So I made out, though, so I'm, whatever.
Steve, you came into tonight's event ninth in the points, 34 back from Doug Roth, who had a bad start to tonight's event, if you caught that. Doug was involved in the first caution. We thought that he was out of it, then he come from nowhere and clawed his way up into the top 10 and finished ninth. But talk to us about the points here, man. You've started 5, you've won 1.
Did they get
you got 3 top 5s now, and you're doing a mighty good job. And sitting ninth in points, which after tonight you could probably move up into the top 5.
How about second place?
Yeah, I've been kind of watching the points. I had an ugly start to this series. I just couldn't get it going. We started with the Atlanta race, and I led a lot of that. We got a late yellow, and ended up wrecking on that last lap there. But, yeah, we just kind of been trying to finish races. I mean, that's what it takes, and obviously finishing in top 5 helps.
All right, then, Steve, lastly, finishing fourth here tonight. Tell us who makes it happen for you, man.
We got a new sponsor, CarMax.com. If you're looking for a used car, CarMax is the place to go. I want to thank Sam Maxwell, obviously ETV Live, and everything you guys do for us. Is it Inside Sim Racing with this series, I hope? I want to thank them and everybody else that makes this happen. You guys do a great job.
Thank you, Steve. And good finish for Steve Ritter tonight, and the points have been uploaded. We won't hold them from you. We'll go ahead and let you know the man that contains the lead now by 2 points, Rhett McBride, and Dwayne Vincent is in third. Roth only moved down to second. He's 2 points behind. And Mr. Nicholas Silver himself, who finished second tonight. Nick, you're in fourth, 9 back. Talk to us again about Rockingham, man. How important is it going in knowing that you're fourth, 9 back from McBride?
Well, like I said, just got to stay consistent, and there's definitely a lot of mayhem at Rockingham, so it's going to be all about survival and being there at the end.
And speaking of survival, Rhett McBride, the man in the number 2 truck Silverado Chevrolet, bringing it home in third tonight. Rhett, now you're the points leader, man. How does it feel?
Oh, man, it feels real good, especially after coming out of there without being on the hook. I tell you what, that was a crazy race.
Rhett, I don't know if you saw Doug Fleming come out of nowhere like we did, but, man, I tell you what, he stole the victory here tonight from Nicholas Silver, yourself, and a couple of other guys that was caught up in an incident. Talk to us about the carnage there on the front stretch. Have you ever seen anything like it?
I'll tell you, Batman, man, that was the craziest race I've ever been in. I'll be honest with you. I was just trying to survive to get to the end. I felt like if we were around with 10 laps to go, all bets were off. And toward the end there, we got a pretty good restart. I was starting on the outside, so I was just trying kept trying to get down and just couldn't get clear to get down, so I just had to gas it up on the outside, and they're coming to the checker flag. I mean, I knew it was going to get crazy, but, you know, I was up on the high side. I just, you know, my crew chief and spotter was just telling me keep it in the gas, and I thought I was going to be bouncing, riding down the wall the whole way to the checkered flag, but it bit off 4, and I got a good run, and then I saw a car go flying over me, man. So I was just trying to, you know, get it to the flag and see where it all shook out. But it's good, man. I'm glad we got the points lead. That's what we've been working for, trying to stay consistent. Hadn't been running so good the last few weeks due to lack of testing, but I kind of saved up for this track, and I was ready for them tonight. I just you know, was trying to get through all these wrecks. Every time we kept getting to the front and waiting for the tires to come in, you know, they throw a caution. So it was crazy.
Now, Red, I want to talk to you about a little bit of the stats here. You are the points leader. You're 2 up on Doug Roth. Everyone else, about 20 truck drivers here have 6 starts, just like you do. We're 6 races into an 8-week short season here next week at Rockingham, and of course the finale, the grand finale, where there's only one crowned champion at Las Vegas coming up in a couple of weeks. But you've got the 6 starts, no wins, 2 top 5s, 5 top 10s, and your average finish is 7.5, which, you know, basically 7th to 8th position. You're the best out there, man, as far as consistency. You're the only one who's finished 7th and a half and better. And talk to us about this, man. 1 lap lead, and you're in the points lead, man. How does that make you feel?
Well, you know, obviously I'd like to win more races. I mean, Bobby, you look at Bobby, you know, if he hadn't had some bad breaks, I mean, he'd be running off taking it. So you still need to get wins, you know, but I've always kind of raced to be around at the end. And there's been a few places, I mean, Atlanta, a couple other tracks where I was in position right there at the end to steal a win, you know, to be up there. And there's, you know, 2 or 3 races I think we could have. But a late race caution kept us from it. So, I mean, I've just kind of stuck to the game plan. I'd like to be winning more races, obviously, but, you know, you give me top 10s, and if you hang around at the end, anything can happen. But, you know, obviously I'd like more wins, but I like where we're at. You know, I think we got a good shot. I love Rockingham, like every track we're going to from here on in. So we'll just see if we can't keep the momentum going and close this deal out.
And Rhett, being the points leader now, man, who makes it happen for you?
Well, obviously, I thank my wife for allowing me to do this. My kids and all that good stuff, they kind of leave me alone while I'm doing this. And obviously, my crew chief, Sean Rosnan, he's also my spotter, works race strategy. So, you know, the 2 of us work real good together. And plenty of my sponsors, Miller Lite.
Kyle, thank you very much, Nicholas Silver. Kyle, Rhett McBride takes the lead. There's a new man on the mountain, but does he have enough gas in the tank to finish it off at Las Vegas in a couple of weeks? He's got Doug Roth breathing down his neck with nearly just 2 points, and then Dwayne Vincent with 3, and then Nicholas Silver with 9. Nicholas Silver getting a good finish here tonight in 2nd. He continues his momentum into Rockingham. It shapes up for a Las Vegas throw the dice. Who wins it type of race?
Oh, without a doubt, it's now turned into kind of a 4-man breakaway at the top of the field. You know, unfortunately, Bobby Terrell had a heartbreaking night tonight, coming home with a wrecked race truck. He's 24 points back, but they're still fighting for the top 5 position right now. Bobby Terrell, 24 points. Back, Joe Ritter's 26 points, and then Steve Ritter in 7th with 31, and then Brian Levengood 35 points back, and then Eric Malik 37 points back, and then Scott Granberg 44 points back. So they're 20 points separating the top 5th through 10th, but it's I don't know. Doug Roth has been having some solid runs. Even when he's damaged the truck, he's been able to limp it back, and definitely it's going to be an interesting fight for these last few races.
In layman's terms, there's a long way to go, but only 2 races to get there. Rhett McBride leads them going into Rockingham next week, but who will roll the dice at Las Vegas in 2 weeks and win this championship in the RSR Outlaw Truck Series? For me, the ETV crew powered by the HD Radio Network, the leader in sim broadcasting, Kyle Peddle, Dakota Ehrman and John Westland pushing the buttons, and J.D. Webb, and of course the super producer Phil getting it done for us all tonight. We'll see you next week live at Rockingham to get the black stripes.